Hello, my name is Neil Cameron and welcome to a presentation of my new vocabulary learning app called NewsWord, which allows its users to read foreign news websites and save, study and practice any new words that the user comes across. This app allows its users to learn relevant, prevalent, real-world words whilst reading their favorite news sites. This customizable approach and the use of applicable, pertinent language helps its users on the exciting and challenging task of learning a new language. No more learning trivial, unimportant sentences that you will never actually use. Hone in on grammar that is used daily and can help you out in real-world situations, all whilst catching up with the world's latest events. Let me talk you through the process of how I got here. In this video, I will be covering the following topics. First, I will introduce you to our Proto Persona. Keeping the user in mind throughout the whole design process is critical to creating a useful app. I will then touch on my competitive analysis to see what apps are already on the market. Next, I will take you through interviews I conducted with my target audience to find out crucial data that would help shape our app. Following this, I will show you task and user flows that I created to show how the new app will be navigated, before finally discussing some prototypes and usability tests I created to evaluate how the whole thing turned out. Let me introduce you to Jenny. Jenny is 36 years old. She's a full-time COO at a non-profit organisation and a mother of a small child. She has recently moved to Berlin, Germany for her work from her native Australia, and she wants to learn the language as soon as possible, not only to help her make new friends, but also to integrate into a new culture and society. She has several new German colleagues at work with whom she wants to grow rapport, as she often has to attend work-related events. She wants to start feeling at home as quickly as she can, and for Jenny, that means conversing with her neighbours, flicking through the local and national newspapers, and meeting new parents like herself, as she is now so far from her family. Before travelling to Germany, Jenny did try out several language learning apps, but became frustrated as she felt that too much time was spent learning irrelevant sentences. On her daily 20-minute commute to the office, Jenny often flicks through the German news to keep updated and to have potential conversation starters, but she often spends most of her time Googling words she doesn't understand. The problem I'm trying to find a solution to today can be summarized thus. Jenny really wants an app that teaches relevant, real-world examples that she can use in her daily conversation. She wants an app that she can use every day on a short commute to work, and one that ties in with things that she is already doing. She also wants an app that enables her to quickly add new words that can be personalized that she comes across in conversation, or while she's listening to TV or the radio. Jenny said to me that she doesn't feel like a true member of society if she can't fully understand the newspaper, or converse with her local baker, or meet new people at a party. She says that she's a full-time working mum, so her time is precious, but she wants to improve her German vocabulary every day as to gain more confidence while she's listening to, reading, and speaking German. Therefore, my hypothesis statement says that we believe that by reading German news articles through our app, NewsWord, with the ability to save words in that said article and practice them in a variety of different ways, including audio, visual, and gamification for Jenny, we will enhance Jenny's German vocabulary through real-world examples, bettering her relationships with colleagues and new people that she meets. To start this process, I first checked out what other language learning apps were already on the market to see what they were doing right and what they were doing wrong. I analysed the following 3 apps: Anki app, Word Up, and Word of the Day. Through my investigation, I found that a bottom navigation bar really helped ease the overall journey through the app. Adding audio for each word also helped, and several examples of the context of the word, either through quotes or real-world media examples, really helped users learn the vocabulary through the app. Following on from the analysis, I then conducted 3 interviews with my target audience, that is, 30 to 40-year-olds who are learning a new language, to garner information from them that would help build a product that was applicable and useful for the end user. During these interviews, I discovered that members of my target audience seemed to learn best when what they were learning was applicable, when future attainable goals were in place, and that language could be learnt in short, sharp bursts, then applied, which would fit in with their busy schedules. I then created a couple of user flows to predict how users would navigate through my app, before building low-fidelity wireframes, including pages such as a splash screen, homepage, onboarding, and many more. The wireframes were then turned into a prototype that was tested on my target audience. I asked the users to complete several simple tasks that were crucial to the functionality of the app. These included creating a new account after following the guided walkthrough, searching for a new word and adding it to an existing deck, and checking the general settings from the home page. Using Jakob Nielsen's 5 components of usability metric, I evaluated that my initial design had several flaws, some of which were major. 100% of the users tested were confused whilst trying to sign up, and they didn't know how to progress through the app, making it very clear to me that the user flow was incorrect. Most of the users completed the tasks, but not necessarily in the way I had intended them to, meaning labeling and tutorials needed to be clearer and simpler. And all the users tested thought it would be more appropriate to have a tutorial after signing up and not before. Taking all this new information on board, I set out on redesigning and created some mid-fidelity wireframes integrating all of this new user feedback. I changed the order of the user flow, and I moved the tutorial of the app to after the user had signed up. I used simpler language and icons to add more clarity, including a page counter on the tutorial and clearer, more relevant buttons. This can be all seen here on my mid-fidelity wireframes. Going forward with this app, if I were to continue and bring this out on the market, I would have to conduct more usability tests until my app started scoring 0s and 1s on Nielsen's usability metric, rather than the 3s and 4s I encountered with my initial design. As a new UX designer, I learnt many lessons during my first design project. I learned it's important to stay curious and really not to preempt what I think the users would do and like. The user flow I created backfired on me, even though through my initial research I thought I was doing the right thing. Many apps I evaluated during my market research had tutorials before signing up, but after discussing this with my target audience, I found that they wanted the exact opposite. I also learned that progress is far more important than perfection. I was too eager to get things right on the first attempt, but user-focused design is more about trial and error and tweaking and redesigning as you go along. Listening is such a key aspect of UX design, and understanding the user's wants and needs to take center stage instead of the designers. And finally, I learned that it is always better to keep things simple from the start. That way it is much easier to make changes. If a designer rushes straight into mid or high fidelity wireframes, a lot of time is unnecessarily wasted. Keeping things much simpler, cleaner, and clearer from the start means that changes can be implemented, keeping the overall design on track. Thank you for watching my presentation. I have included a link to my prototype if you would like to continue reading.